AI is going to do everything anyway. So like
Like the way he talks, he has aura, bro.
educating the public. We were discussing this, me and Shashrik, right? He was so what we were talking about was so in so in India we have this payment system called UPI where you basically use it's like online pay. It's a method of online payment, right?
Yeah, it's miles ahead of anything I've seen in other countries.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty much like Apple Pay, but you don't need. It's not like a credit card system. It's like because Apple Pay works on credit card, I think.
Yeah, I
But
mean this works on a credit card too, but like
no,
how
it
this
doesn't work on
works,
credit card. It's like connected to your
it
bank account.
it's the same thing. Credit cards are off bank accounts.
Yeah, but they're like you get like a physical card. You have to make a credit card. You don't get it with your bank account, right?
Oh, wait, that's not the point, right?
Yeah.
UPI. Um, it's like every shop owner, like how big or small, they always have like these that size QR codes where like there's this apps like Google Pay and UPI, Phone Pay, where like you just scan this and then you can transfer amount like any amount of money to that. And like compared to card or cash, where like you need specified um like places like a card reader to like use them, this is like insanely easy, right? You don't need any like money to like start this up. It connects directly to your bank account. um so yeah, you can continue.
Yeah. So what happens is so usually in India, at shops and stuff, people. So you basically the system is that if you pay with cash, like usually before, when they would incentivize you to pay with cash or like not ask for the receipt, because if you did not ask for the receipt, then the shop owner wouldn't need to pay
Taxes to
taxes.
the government,
Yeah,
because
I
like
guess. So they just
yeah,
wanted to make it cheaper, I guess. And I don't get the system because at the end of the day, the takeaway from the what do you call that the shopkeeper is going to be the same like if you're paying taxes to the government or not because when you're paying taxes the price basically the customer the price that they pay is higher so
yeah, or they could just keep the same price but the shopkeeper gets less money.
like if you reduce the price then you're just giving a small the consumer is giving a smaller price but the shopkeeper is getting the same takeaway right
Yeah,
like so I don't get why they did that but okay and so now that's what was happening with UPI as well right they just did not pay taxes on the UPI, right? So the
yeah, because
government,
there's a difference between a personal account and like a business account, where like business account, the government charges tax, whereas a personal account they don't. So what most businesses do is they use their same personal account as their business account, so they get to basically evade taxes.
and yeah, so what the government did was they okay, so they had a tax like they had a tax collection goal, right? They had like a goal that they wanted to collect a lot of money for like I think they had a new project or something. Okay, so for that they realized like since the UPI is like they have access to the UPI data. They could just go and charge small vendors with the tax, right? Their cut of the tax, and because of this, many shopkeepers who've been running their shops for like years, like on UPI, like 5 to 6 years, right?
Yeah.
They got hit with extremely large, tax like bills, right? And yeah, and these shopkeepers, yeah,
Like they're like the type of people to make like a few thousand rupees a day, and then at once they got this bill of like 10 lakhs in tax. And I thought this like you just wake up one day and then you see this thing in your mail, like you'd be furious or like devastated, right?
yeah. But I feel like at the end of the day, if you're a business, you need to run it legally, right? You can't just not pay taxes because first of all, if you're paying taxes, right? Mostly these people, they're like the vendors on the side of the road. They like go on they are on the footpath. So
Yeah.
like if you pay taxes, you're basically helping improve the state of the footpath that you're on, which would bring more foot traffic to your shop. You're like it's like a win-win for everyone if you pay taxes. I mean,
I
to
mean, it's
what
not really a
extent?
win-win, but like you're still losing a bit of money in return for this, right? You're basically paying for it. But like I feel like the government still has to be a bit more lenient, especially on like these roadside vendors. Like you shouldn't be collecting taxes from people who have like a daily income of less than like 5,000 rupees, bro. Because what are you getting out of it? Like
Less than
18%, not even eight.
5,000. That's quite a lot actually, if you think about it. I think, in my opinion, it's they may look if they only hit the people who are in the tax bracket to get taxed, right? Because like below 1200,000, which is one point
1,200,000.
no, I meant 1.2 million rupees, right? Which is 12 lakhs.
Yeah. But like not really 5,000, right? Those roadside vendors, let's say that you pay something around 25 rupees for one product, right? And then like whatever they sell, and then let's say they have like 50 people coming in. So 50 times like 25, which is almost 1,500 rupees per day, bro. That's not a lot, right? So the government should be
That's
skipping on these people because
yeah. Those
let's
people were
say,
skipped, like people who okay. So this was only for people who like the shop vendors who made about enough to come in the tax bracket where they were getting taxed, right?
yeah.
Below 12 lakhs, which is 1.2 million rupees, it's like according to the thing, like according to the rules. So anyone who made more than that in a year, only those people were get taxed. So like yeah,
Yeah, but then roadside vendors are not making 1.2 lakhs in a month.
not in a month, in a year.
Oh, okay, okay. But like still, even if you're making 1.2 lakhs in a year, right? Um, the tax that you're getting off of it, which is like 18%, it's not a lot. The government should be skipping on these smaller vendors because you're not
I would
getting a
disagree. I still
you're
would
not
disagree.
you're not getting a lot from them, but this tiny amount of money that the shopkeepers are paying, it is like affecting them a lot because one, they either have to increase the prices of their products or they have to you know, get less income.
Again, I don't think you're getting it right. If you're making more than 12 lakhs, then it's actually quite good. It's quite a good amount of money that you're making, and that's why they're getting taxed. Because you okay, 12 lakhs is the amount for anyone whoever makes about 12 lakhs in a year is getting taxed because that's the like tax brackets, right? You know tax brackets, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And anyone who makes about 12 lakhs a year is living comfortably, right?
yeah.
And I get it. Like it was not. I don't
No,
think.
because like I'm not arguing for the people who make above 12 lakhs. Like they owe the government tax. But like
Yeah,
I'm
only
talking
those
about
people were taxed who made about 12 lakhs a year. It,
no,
it
but
was not. It
I'm
was
talking
not
about
any
like
street vendor.
for every transaction, there's some amount of tax going through.
No, that's not how it was done. It was done based on yearly because they did. I think that's how. Oh no, I'm not sure how it was done actually. Can you?
Yeah, it was done for per transaction. Yeah,
Because most of the transactions either happen through personal accounts in UPI, which of course taxes aren't collected, or they're done by cash, which again people don't follow the rules and they don't file their taxes.
yeah.
So
But like right now, we're only talking about the street vendors, right? I think those people should be exempt from taxes.
I
Because
mean,
hear me
it should
out.
have been more like an install. It's like it should be like more year on year, right? They should have done this from the start. Like, why would you do it after 5 6 years when the you rack up the amount and you make so that's a, you're wasting. You're like you're putting a big amount. Even if they make good money, right? They won't have that much saved up to pay, right?
Yeah,
Because people
yeah.
were hit with like um, what's after lakhs in the Indian system.
Crores.
Oh yeah, they were hit with like crores.
Yeah, yeah. And like at that point, that's kind of like the government's fault, honestly, for like not following up on the people who almost evading taxes and like suddenly hitting them with like crores of bills. I think that was like completely the government's fault. But like they have to like somehow recover the money, right? And there wasn't a different way to do that. That was like completely fine. But like
Maybe I would prefer it to be more so like from this day on, you're gonna have to pay taxes on like UPI payments as well. Instead of it being like, oh, you haven't paid taxes for so long, so you
yeah,
have to. Yeah, continue.
that's fine, right? But I feel like half the people, like more than half the people who use their personal accounts for UPI, um, as a business, right? They're not educated to do that. Like they don't know that they have to pay taxes. Like
Exactly.
before UPI, none of them knew the concept of like a card, right? A plastic card, like a credit or a debit card, where like people were forced to pay taxes. And like if you're making all your income in cash, right? It means that you're not making it enough to pay taxes, right? And then people who get their income more in a liquefied way, like bank accounts, they make enough to pay taxes. So people who pass the margin of like, here you go, take your money in liquefied cash, those are the type of people who pay taxes. And then people who make in cash, those are the people who are not qualified for taxes. It was like an imaginary line, right? But then all of a sudden, this UPI thing came over, and then now everyone's using liquefied money. So then now everyone has to pay taxes. So these street vendors who aren't educated, they don't know that they have to pay taxes, and they just um, use their personal accounts, which in turn is like evading taxes.
Yeah, I mean, I get. Yeah, that's true.
So like I think the government has to do something like through ads or like webinars or seminars or like just people coming out onto the
Yeah,
streets and like
exactly. Educating the public,
it,
right?
yeah. And like I think it's not only the poor people, right? You also have like bigger people from like who make more money who are also evading taxes.
Yeah, I know. Like, I think like farmers, they don't pay taxes because they get all their money in cash. Like,
Yeah, not only farmers, right? Like most people, not most people, like a lot of businessmen and politicians,
like the informal job market as well, and yeah, and politicians, right?
yeah,
That's,
especially
so
politicians.
yeah, so India has this big informal sector of jobs, and that's why a lot of these jobs, right? They don't give you benefits, and you don't, and you many of them earn below minimum wage because minimum wage because it's an informal job. It's not even like a job in like the government side. So like they don't make they get less than minimum wage, which is kind of sad actually because
Yeah, yeah, it was. So I think those people, it all boils down to the fact that India had like insane, um, what do you call it? The technological boom and like insane development in such a short time period that like people didn't get time to get educated or like didn't get time to get adjusted, right?
yeah.
Um, so they just went from a state of getting just cash to this state of like getting all their money in liquefied payments. And then there wasn't like the middle point where they had to pay taxes. So then for like so many years, they were just evading taxes without them even knowing. Right. And at this point, it's literally like nobody's fault.
You know,
Also,
honestly, I
yeah.
wanted to connect to this, right? The thing is, I feel like me personally, I feel like even like a large amount of people do know about like taxes, but they like asking for the receipt, that those people who did not who were like, oh, don't ask for the receipt and I'll give you at a lower price.
Yeah,
They
I've seen this even in the US, right? Like we went to get food one day and
Yeah,
then they were like, if you're paying with card, it's gonna cost you this much, and if you're paying with cash, it's gonna cost you this much. And like when you pay with cash, um, you're honestly saving like what, $2 to $3, and like, but you know that $2 to $3 is going to the government anyways. So like I remember when my dad used to like, we went to get food, and then they said it's gonna cost you $15 if you're gonna pay with card, and then like somewhere around 11 if you're gonna pay with cash. So then we had to drive like 20 minutes to the nearest ATM to get cash and then pay.
That's crazy.
Because like if you pay by card, it's a more digitized way of like giving money. So then the government can like track this, whereas cash you can't really track every single payment that's going through. Like whoever's watching this, I'm not justifying tax evasion. I'm just saying we did it unknowingly. Just don't fall into that trap.
Hold up, I had this interesting point right now, right? I
Yeah,
feel like, okay, so these people who know about like taxes, and like uh they're in evading taxes on purpose, right?
yeah, yeah,
I feel like honestly, this too is like the government's fault at some level, because first of all, like in India, especially, right?
yeah,
Even you even with the taxes that are being paid, honestly, let's be honest here. The development is, you don't see the development, right? India,
yeah,
like Bangalore, the city that we live in, it's a tier one city in
yeah. With
India,
metro,
and
it's a
still
metro city.
we still have potholes in almost every road, right? Even main roads, bro. You see like potholes,
Yeah,
right?
and I think
So
even
there's like no like, can I finish?
yeah,
There's like no, so like there's no trust in the government, right? People don't trust the government to like, and so that's why they just don't mind like not paying taxes, because the government's not going to do anything. That's their mindset, right? The government's not going to do anything, right?
yeah. I think that mindset is like there's no difference if I pay taxes or if I don't pay taxes. So why not just save the money and like not pay taxes? But I've seen this in the US, right? Um in the US we like people like apply new roads like every what 2 to 3 years, and like I've seen it here too, like 2 to 3 years they apply new roads, but the quality of the roads is what matters, right? In like 1 week or like 2 weeks I already see a pothole is like right in front of my house, but like in the US it would stay clean for like at least 3 years. But
Oh
like
yeah,
yeah, and then even in the US you would see big signs saying your tax money at work, but like when they were constructing new parks, new shopping centers, new schools, new roads. But like here, you don't really see that.
yeah. I get that, and I mean, I still think like you should still pay taxes if you're doing your part. Then you have more, you have more of a right to hold the government accountable, right? You
Yeah.
can't, if you're not paying taxes, how can you, what right do you have? Because you're not doing your part, so what right do you have to charge someone else for not doing their part, right?
But I also think it's part government's fault because they charge so much on like regular things. Because there's like the system in India where it's like there's no tax on certain items, then 10% tax on like needs, and then 18% tax on luxuries. And you especially see this in the movie theaters, right? You have
Yeah,
buttered popcorn that costs 10 that has 10% tax on it. And
yeah.
then the caramel popcorn has 18% tax. So you see this dramatic scale up in price between the two different popcorns. And
Actually,
like, yeah, you do. And
that's
then
crazy.
even in the
What if
gold
you have
market,
a mix?
like I'm pretty sure the mix is 18% because it's has a mix of the caramel popcorn.
That's crazy.
So like I remember this was like 2024 when the tax budget came out, and then people were outrageous after hearing this. But like after that, especially in gold, right? Gold is somehow considered a luxury. Like I've seen this a
I mean,
lot of
gold is
times,
a
right?
luxury, so
It's an investment. Most people buy it as an investment to make their lives better in the future. So it's mostly a need than an want, in my opinion.
how is it a need? How is an investment a need?
It's not a need. Like needs are 0%, then like the middle ground, it's nice to have is like 10%, and then the wants are like 18%. Okay, because like especially in the gold market, we were comparing prices between like outside India prices of gold and then in India prices of gold. Because if you compare them directly, in India, per gram gold is a lot less, right? But then you add the making charges for like a slab of gold. That's making charges should not be a thing for a slab of gold. And then you add the GST, which is 18%. It skyrockets the price, and then buying outside India is a lot cheaper for some reason.
I mean, yeah, I guess that's yeah.
So, like for competitive currencies like gold and silver, things like
Mhm.
that, I don't think there should be GST. It's like it's the government's way of like collecting money. But like you're competing, bro. You shouldn't have money. I mean, you shouldn't want money in such markets.
Okay, yeah, that's a really good point.
It's like you have the opportunity to like skyrocket sales because your product costs less, but then you're greedy for more money, so then you just add that money on top of it, and then you have no sales at all.
Again, I understand your point too, and I also want to acknowledge that the government in India is starved of like funds, right? It's like really like the space program in India.
Yeah, and
It,
then you get the question, where is all the tax money going?
exactly. Number one, the only thing that you see returns in when you see like with the taxes is the military. Like, have you don't see you don't see that well returns. Okay, and or maybe the space program, but the space program does not get money, right? That, let's be honest here. The
Yeah, and
space
then India became like super viral for like having a probe on the moon for like as low money as possible,
Yeah, but again,
like the least
you
money
the
possible.
only place where you see returns is the military. And do we really want a world where the military is the most important spending?
I
Right?
mean, this came in clutch, right? Especially during the Indo-Pakistan war this year. We like
Oh,
we
I agree. I see that. I see the like importance for like defense, right?
it comes in clutch, especially during those times.
But there are okay. So so in Costa Rica, right?
Yeah,
They defunded the military so that the entire and they took all that budget and they put it into education and then environment into the environment like environmental research and stuff, right?
yeah,
And nature preservation, right? And if you look at it right now, Costa
yeah,
Rica is one of the most prospering nations in Latin America, right?
yeah. Even though it's like the smaller ones.
Yeah, it's one of the smaller ones, and and recently it's actually in the sixth position in the World Happiness Index.
Yeah.
So
And
it's
like I think another problem is that mostly the educated ones, right? The educated people in India,
yeah.
they see India as like more of a underdeveloped country, right? And like they don't want to be here. So like right after their education or like even during their education, they go to other countries on the basis of H1B, right?
Oh yeah,
Like coming yeah,
they're coming
um
back now because of Trump.
yeah. H1B were like other countries hire skilled workers, like they outsource them. And now um they have to come back to their own country, bro, because Trump just said we don't want any H1B holders. We're gonna give opportunities to our own people. And like um we see this in play, especially in the UN, the United Nations summit that happened a few days ago. Not even a few days, like yesterday, right? Me and my mom were watching this um like a few minutes ago, and then we saw like the difference between how Trump talks in front of the entire UN and then other world leaders talk, right? Prime Minister Modi was not there, but like uh, the Minister for External Affairs, he was there, and like he um spoke in a way where honestly it made me sleep. It was more like um how people talk in our school, right? For the speeches, it was scripted. the English was like insanely high. They know that they're not gonna speak like that on a daily basis, and it basically had no emotion, right?
Yeah, I
And
get that, Often it feels like even, actually, our prime minister, like India's prime minister, Modi, he hasn't done an interview in like a long time. Like he hasn't done an interview, right?
yeah,
And
like that's fine, but like I
no,
don't think it should be
and every single time he like speaks to the public, it's always scripted. It's like it's never that like he's being hit with questions or like interactive. It's and I think even Kamala Harris, even she hasn't done an interview. But
no, like she
but no
hasn't done
opinion,
an
no
interview,
opinion,
but
no opinion.
she
I'm not trying to say I'm on one side of the political aisle or anything. I'm just saying, right?
like it doesn't matter if you're doing an interview or not, but like have your
No, I
speed
feel like
like
it's important, because it helps like show who you really are as a person and how you can handle like conversations as a person, like even
like
uh,
let the public know you.
yeah, exactly. If it's not okay, I think no, actually, I think Modi did a podcast with Lex Friedman, out of all people. Like,
Yeah.
you're not even talking to the Indian people at this point. It's just, and it's also like all of the questions probably were like given to him before and all of that, right?
Yeah, he had to prepare like before the actual like meeting, probably because of his language barrier.
No, he
Like,
spoke in Hindi.
oh, okay, okay.
But I feel like it's important that you have like discussions and like talk without a script.
Yeah, I
That
think
shows your
that that's true.
leadership.
But like even Kamala Harris, right? She even if it's scripted, her speeches they have emotion in them. Like especially the one about Christmas is like, how dare we say like Merry Christmas? It was scripted, but it was like you're able to watch it. But like when I was watching the UN summit today, I couldn't watch the Minister of External Affairs speak. And I see this even in our schools, right? They barely select like people who know English and like they select very specific people. That pisses me off. But like even if they do that, they give them
Bro,
like
is
this
just
insanely.
jealous. Bro, is just jealous.
No, I'm not jealous,
Because
right?
you think you're entitled to the role because you have an accent, bro?
I'm not entitled to the role,
That's
okay?
crazy.
Like hear me out. Like at least have other people do it, bro. It's always the same people.
I guess, yeah, I don't know.
Okay? And then it's always these scripted things that have no emotion in them. It's like, dear respected principal. Okay. But like you also see Trump talking. Like the way he talks, he has aura, bro. Like
Again,
bro was
again,
mad.
again, we're not supporting Trump, but we're not supporting
I
Trump.
just like the way he talks.
Exactly. We don't like, I think we should be more unbiased, I think we're unbiased, right? We don't.
Yes, we're definitely unbiased. I'm just talking about the way he presents himself in front of the media.
Yeah.
So the way he was literally talking like he owned the place, right? He was mad about the Telecaster, I think that's what it's called,
Yeah.
not working. He was mad about the escalator that broke down the second he
That's,
stepped on it. Um,
hey yo.
yeah, and then he had a script in front of front of him.
Yeah.
I know that he was allotted like 15 minutes, but he spoke for an hour. Um,
Yeah, that's so interesting, right? I think Trump like he ran on reducing prices. Well, he hasn't done that again. Maybe it's a longer process. Maybe the tariffs can like, bring production to the US or something. I'm not sure. Okay, I'm not sure if it, and I'm not trying to support him or deny him or call him out, right? But yeah, yeah, he ran on the matter of fact is he ran on reducing prices. So,
yeah,
but
like,
and
but
all of this, like the price falls on the consumer, not in the business. Obviously, they're not gonna they're not gonna like reduce prices and take the loss, right?
yeah, and like after Trump came into his office, right? He made a lot of changes, especially like when you're fired from your job, it used to be a 2 month period where like you could search for a new job, but then he realized in these 2 months, people are like finding loopholes and just not finding a job at all and like living there illegally. So like he changed that from 2 months to 1 month. No, 2 months to 1 day, right? So then when people lose their jobs, they have to immediately leave the United States. So like a lot of people are losing their jobs and coming back, right?
Yeah, we had this on the agenda of discussion topics. The 4 day work week. What do you think, Shashik?
I think the 4 day work week is absolutely awesome, but like it's gonna cut on productivity because like I would rather have shorter days, like shorter work periods spread out across a longer time. I mean, like let's say you're working for 8 hours right now, right? 8 hours, and like it's extended to 10 hours. I would be taking more breaks. Like I will be taking more breaks, bro. But like, so that would in turn just equal out and give me less productivity because you're just taking away a full week, no, a full day. So I think a 5 day work week is completely fine. Debate me on that.
Okay, me personally, I believe a 4 day week is important. But the way they do it right now, honestly, I don't like it, right? Because usually in most places, wherever they have a 4 day work week, like in Europe and stuff, right? Wherever it's like right now, it's super experimental, but like many companies do it, right?
And like even schools do it.
Yeah. So the way they do it is, I think they do it Monday till Thursday. I think Monday to Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday is a holiday.
Yeah,
I think, me personally, I think I would rather have it be that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is a holiday, and Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday, Sunday. Because like it's in between the week, so you're getting a break. You're getting a space, like chance to slow down. You
I
know.
had something similar in my previous school. It was like Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday school started at like 9:30, so you get that extra sleep. And then um it was then
Mhm.
Thursday, Friday. Yeah. This allowed, so how my schedule was is
Like
we
how
had,
did it change it? Like did it like do you think it like it like caused something like did it have an impact? Do you think it
yeah,
had an impact?
I think it definitely had an impact. It was like school was less boring almost because then we go into Monday, then I would feel like, oh, look, it's just Tuesday left, and then it's Wednesday. It was like almost a break, and then Wednesday would go by, then Thursday, oh, look, it's only Friday left, and then it's the weekend, right? So it was like that hinted a hint of motivation. So like how it was organized, right? There were 7 periods in my day.
Yeah,
So Wednesday and Thursday would be things would be days called block days, right?
yeah,
So Wednesday I would only have even periods, so like 2, 4, and 6,
yeah.
but then they were extra long. So we get more time in class. And then Thursday I would have odd days, so 1, 3, 5, and 7, which were also extra long. So more productivity almost. Um, so then this allowed Wednesday to be shorter, but like have the same amount of productivity.
Oh, wait. So Wednesday had like I'm sorry, I missed the part what you were talking about like Wednesday. What happened?
So like we had 7 days. I mean 7
No, like
periods.
I heard that like on Wednesday what happened like
Wednesday you would have even periods, so 2, 4, and 6.
and what so Thursday and Friday would be
1,
oh,
3, 5, and 7. So then that one extra period, you're just not at school.
okay, that's interesting.
So then you're getting the same amount of productivity, but like you're just missing an hour.
So and how is it like for you personally? What do you think? Do you think like
I
it
think that was completely necessary and it was
no
like awesome.
no but how do you feel like elaborate upon that?
So like every day we got PE except one day because like that odd and even period. And then every day we got like an activity period where like we got to choose something that would go towards our college. So then um every day it felt like you were doing like actual work and you're also getting your social time. I thought that was like completely necessary as opposed to like Indian education where like every day you have like 3, 4 periods of science and math and yeah, and
I
like you're
feel like
not really.
I think it's probably because like we're in private school, right? But
Yeah,
I think India should be more experimental with the education, like the way they educate,
I think
instead of
private I think private
like
schooling.
making one large like rule set. So like India, they have like this new education policy that came out in 2020, right?
Oh, wait, hold up, I just have something to say.
Yeah,
But I think schooling should be a completely new episode.
yeah. I'll just finish this part.
Okay, okay, okay.
It should
Yeah,
be more experimental.
I think, yeah, that's definitely true. I
Yeah,
agree on that. Because like the part where
and
India's
connecting
no.
this experimental part to the 4-day work week, right? Because
Yeah. Okay,
that's
okay.
important. So
I
now
think India should do something along the same lines and like trying to adjust the periods into
I don't
like
think that will work in India. You know why?
why.
His parents will get mad. They'd be like, "Oh no, why is my son? Why is my son or daughter, or why is my child not studying more?" Because I feel like often many parents do like emphasize on academic success.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, back to the 4-day work week, right? What I was saying was, I think a lot of they show, like you said, the productivity would go down, but actually, like in many studies, right? They've conducted a lot of studies, and the productivity has gone up because
In most
people
people, right?
they are more rested and they have more focus during the 4 days, right? So they're able to do more work. Again, all of this would be obsolete in like a few years because AI is going to do everything anyway. So like